What is going on, everybody? It's Alex. I'm back here with another video, and today we are doing round 3 of 5 of this final regular season mock draft. Now, we got plenty more coming, but obviously it's going to be a more dispersed intervals and stuff. We'll be doing different types, what would I do, all that jazz. You guys know what the hell's up. I've been saying this every video. If you guys are new, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below. Got a great community. Got some haters coming in, but the longer I do YouTube, the more I realize y'all going to be coming regardless of however good I'm going to be doing. So, for you guys who want to teach me, teach me. I love learning from you guys. It's probably the best part of the job is that, you guys are like, wow, how does this guy know this much? Or, oh, that's a bad pick. I mean, hey, you guys are you super fans are the ones who are more knowledgeable than I could be by studying your team for a couple months, right? You guys have been watching them your entire life, know their draft philosophies, know their weaknesses, watch your guys every single play, every little microsecond. So you guys have been the ones who've been teaching me. So for you guys who say, wow, this is a good draft, it's thanks to you. So obviously, can't just do it all just because of you. Obviously, I'm going to give myself a little bit of credit. I like to learn from you guys, but you guys teach me a lot, and I do appreciate that. Starting off with the first pick, we got the Jags. Let's look at some safeties here, guys. There's still Javon Holland on the board. Who the hell did the Ravens take? Oh, they took Brevin Jordan. That's a pretty good pick. I thought for some reason Javon Holland already went. Paris Ford's a wrecking ball. I'm not going to lie. And if you want to get him, that's 100% understandable. But I think that the issue needs to be addressed with Javon Holland. Because I think, to me, he's the second best safety in the class. I don't know why TDN, is so bipolar with Javon. They're putting him up at, 50, and then they're dropping him to 78, then they put him back to 54, and then back down to 78. They're PMSing right now, guys. But Javon Holland has a lot of versatility. I think that he can play single high safety if they want him to. He can play slot corner as well, similar to a Bubba Bolden, which I'm honestly surprised that they keep dropping. They had him up by 80. I'm telling you right now, this is just TDN is they need to get their shit together. So, Javon Holland definitely is going to be the pick here. You could go Andre Cisco as well. I think Javon Holland just has the coverage skills that a team like the Jaguars might want. If they want to increase their pass rush, you got to make sure that some guys get covered on the back end. Andre Cisco is a great talent, but Javon Holland, I mean, he's getting first round hype. He opted out this year. It's not like he all of a sudden got way more ass. So I don't really get that. Javon Holland's a great pick for the squad. I think I was going to think about taking him in the second round if, of course, the boring pick that I've done for, I think, the past 7 weeks, Pat Freiermuth, was not there. Jets. This is obviously down to 2 positions. We got corner, which we could go Mukuamu if you want a boundary corner with some stiff hips, or we can go edge. And again, this can get a little bit boring. I like doing this every time. Patrick Jones deserves to be this pick. You want to look at guys who could be this pick? Sneaky pick is Myjai Sanders here. Quincy Roche is a pretty good guy. Patrick Jones is a guy with an extremely high floor, and he plays at a very high level. So I like him a lot. Let's just check out his age. I haven't seen how old this dude is. He's not that old. For a redshirt senior, he's actually pretty damn young. So I'm going to go for Patrick Jones here. You guys can debate it down in the comment section. I think you guys have liked this pick so far. You need to get some pass rush help. And we have only helped out your offense so far. And looking at the corners on the board, not really the best start. Now, Texans, where do we go with you guys? There's a lot of dudes on the board. We could be going edge if we want to right here with getting a Victor Diamedjeg. Let's see if I can pronounce this one. Dimukeje. Well, we'll call him D-Edge. We've been doing that for a while now. We could definitely go with that type of route. We could look at the interior offensive line as well. Landon Dickerson's on the board. I don't know if you need exactly a center, but Landon Dickerson, since now we're factoring in his injury, this is understandable. Now this is a good spot for him to go, especially with a guy like Deshaun Watson who needs some extra pass pro and some extra run help. Landon Dickerson will provide a really good locker room guy as well. The team loves him. And, on a roster that is not really too happy with how their front office has handled shit, being able to help out the offense a little bit in this aspect, I think that's paramount. Getting Landon Dickerson's an amazing value for the pick. I don't know if he's going to be back for the championship. I don't know how bad his knee is to that extent, but right now, I think it's a good pick. It's a really good pick. I really don't like what's going on with my hair right now. We got a hair appointment coming up soon, but you guys know how that is. You guys already hear me bitch about my hair too much. Now this is, I don't know why. I feel like this is a perfect fit. You guys might not like the fact that I'm reaching. Myjai Sanders to the Falcons is a great fit. I know you guys need a safety as well, and we might be trading up for it. But dude, Myjai Sanders might be the pick, especially he started showing out in his bowl game. He was definitely playing at a very high level against Georgia. So I think this is a great pick. Let's go Majai Sanders here. He's young, athletic. I'm pretty sure he's a true junior. Yeah, he's a true junior, so he's super young, super athletic, very, very strong person. And I'm telling you right now, his ceiling is through the roof. So I definitely like that a lot. I don't like the fact that the Sun is like playing hide and go seek with the damn clouds right now. That's for sure. Bengals, we got to get you some line help, man. I'm telling you right now. This is an interesting one, but since Joe Burrow is not the most athletic dude in the world, I guess you can have like a semi non-athletic tackle. Daniel FAALELE, 6'8", 400 pounds. I'm telling you right now, we could have went with the Jets on Daniel FAALELE for sure, but if you want to look at him, apparently they have a premium draft profile. That's super annoying that they're like starting to get a little bit more grabby with money, even though I have the money for it and I've already bought it, but. I think you have to go with either Brady Christensen here or Daniel FAALELE, and FAALELE has a sky-high ceiling. I think that he will be able to sit if you want him to. You just have to fix up that O-line, man. I'm telling you right now. I know you guys probably want a wide receiver there or maybe an edge prospect, but I think you got to go Daniel FAALELE. If he's on the board, you got to go with him. He can run block. Like there was a legitimate difference, and it's also at a very nice pick. There was a big difference. I watch a lot of Minnesota football, right? There was a huge difference when Daniel FAALELE was not playing versus when he was. Obviously, it should. He's a starting tackle. But I'm just saying right now, the run game, significantly worse. Oh, my God. The run game, significantly worse. Pass game, obviously, not nearly as comfortable for Tanner Morgan in that backfield without a 6'8" monstrosity in Daniel FAALELE. Could have been the pick right here for the Jets, but I think that that's probably the right way to go. Daniel FAALELE, you got to fix up that line. If Penei Sewell's not there and you guys are saying you need him, this guy has a ceiling similar to Penei. It's just his floor is a lot lower because he's more of a raw prospect. Eagles. This is where we got to go Andre Cisco, man. We got to go Andre Cisco here. A lot of teams are going to be like, shit. I mean, Andre Cisco is a great fit for us. The Eagles need it. So, sorry, guys. Andre Cisco is an absolute stud. I mean, if you wanted to, you can go Israel Mukuamu, who could transition to that free safety role. But Andre Cisco is that guy who's already proven to be a high-level free safety. And honestly, it's a really good fit. So I know a lot of you guys like him. I'm pretty sure I got him for you guys before, but Andre Cisco is going to be an absolute stud pick for you guys. Lions. So this is an interesting one. I think we got to go on that interior defensive line. I've been seeing it a little bit too much, especially with all these dudes still on the board, including Haskell Jarrett. Again, it's up to you guys, whichever one you pick. I just like Christian Barmore more. No pun intended. I just think it's a little bit better of a pick. I think it fits the scheme a little bit better. No trades needed. There's a lot of dudes on the board, but given the value, I think that's just a good spot. There's still Kadarius Toney on the board, and I'm not gonna lie, a team like the Panthers. I mean, we're looking at guard right now. I'm looking at Deontay Brown, as well as Kadarius Toney to replace what I'm bugging. Why am I bugging on his name? But it's so annoying. Curtis Samuel, got it. So we could look at Kadarius Toney replacing Curtis Samuel if you want to save some cap space. That's 100% understandable. We could also obviously look towards Deontay Brown. We could look at Israel Mukuamu if you want to take a shot on a corner. I don't think you need a slot corner. I'm pretty sure you don't. But, I mean, I'm telling you right now, Israel Mukuamu wouldn't be a bad pick here. That being said, I think you got to value the interior offensive line right now. Especially if you want to bring on, if you have Teddy and he's making some shitty decisions, you got to give him some time, man. I honestly say that you probably stick. I mean, there's a huge drop off after Deontay Brown. He's going to be a high floor guy. He's going to come in and be an immediate impact if you want to put him in. You got to go for it, man. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys probably wanted to go after Kadarius Toney, who is somehow falling. It's just I'm a little bit trigger shy on Kadarius Toney at this point. Now, Broncos. I for some reason thought he was not declaring for the draft. However, I think he's starting to creep up towards that number 5 quarterback spot. My number 5 quarterback, Desmond Ridder, I've been watching a lot of tape on him recently. This kid has something. He is something. He's definitely something special. Shout out to my boy Mason for trying to persuade me to going back to Desmond Ridder. It's worth it. It's worth it, guys. Desmond Ridder has a cannon. He's mobile. He's built for the modern day offense. And I know that now, apparently, John Elway is not calling the shots. That is crucial because that means they can get a good pick. out of Desmond Ridder, it's a 3rd-round pick for Christ's sakes. You know, Drew Lock is not a bust because it was a 2nd-round pick. Like, you just take a shot in a 2nd round or a 3rd-round quarterback, it's okay. You're not committing your entire franchise to it. But Desmond Ridder, I mean, he's not going to go here in my next draft. I'm going to tell you right now, when we do the postseason one, I've been watching more and more of him. If we do a what would I do draft, he might be sneaking into that first. I'm just telling you right now, he's a really talented guy. Cowboys, we got to beef up that interior defensive line, but let's see if there's any. I mean, there's still Kadarius Toney on the board, man. I'm telling you right now, Kadarius Toney could be a really fun fit. Who drafted Kyle Trask? Was that the Bears? Did the Bears draft him? I'm pretty sure the Bears drafted Kadarius Toney. Not Kadarius Toney, Kyle Trask. That would be an interesting pair-up. If you want to do that, I know that we already have the kid out of Tulane, but I mean, that would be definitely interesting. I don't think the Bears are going to want to move up from that far, though. This is an interesting one, guys. We could be looking at Washington moving up as well to be able to get Kadarius Toney. I mean, I know that they need a safety, right? Obviously, they can use a guy like Talanoa Hufanga for sure. I think Talanoa is great, but there is a guy on the board in Kadarius Toney. And, of course, we can't trade up with Washington football team right now, especially for the next couple picks, but just keep your eyes out on Kadarius Toney being there. Looking at the other guys who are available, is there any team that needs a linebacker? I think there is a couple. I'm sure that the Chargers could definitely want to use a guy like Cameron McGrone to add with, of course, their 1st-round pick last year, Kenneth Murray. There's Nico Collins here, who is a very versatile weapon. There's Paris Ford. I don't think that we want to trade back that far to where we're not even in this round anymore. Got to make sure we don't back out of the draft. I've done that too many freaking times. I'm telling you right now, I've done that way too many times. It's a little bit embarrassing. But I'm looking at the guys who are still on the board, and I'm just sniffing to trade back just because I don't think that Jerry's gonna want to pull the trigger on an interior defensive lineman at this spot if it's not a perfect fit. Because I'm telling you right now, I can see a guy like Haskell Jarrett going there, or Garrett. I don't know, whatever you guys want me to call him. We could look at Jalen Tweeman, Darius Stills, Aleem McNeil, and there's all these dudes. Tyler Shelvin still on the board. I'm telling you right now, it's a pretty interesting idea. Did we get interior defensive lineman for the Broncos? We did. We got Jordan Davis. That's a good pick. But looking at who is still on the board, is there a team that wants to move up for Kadarius Toney? There could be. I'm a little bit stuck at this pick, guys. You guys are going to have to help me out on this one in the comments section. However, I think the Chargers are going to want to move up for their next linebacker. Let's make sure that we haven't gotten one for them anyways. I mean, you got Josh Myers. You fixed up that line. Let's fix up the defense a little bit, guys. Chargers are moving up a little bit with the Cowboys in order to select yo boy. I'm bugging on his name. Sometimes I use like the word yo boy just to add as a filler. But, you know, we're going to toss in that 7th in there. It's a couple picks back, guys. We're going to pick up Cameron McGrone out of Michigan. Cannot really play too well in the run game, but he does actually have a lot of speed. He has a lot of upside. We're going to be picking him here just to add a little bit of oomph to that squad, just to be able to add some extra speed as well. Going to pick up right where, of course, you just jumped the Giants, who would probably want a linebacker as well. I probably would have picked him for them, honestly, right there as well. I mean, man, Washington probably wanted a wide receiver here in Kadarius Toney, but Dallas was not going to let him. Kadarius Toney's the pick. You guys are talking about how you want to get a weapon for Daniel Jones. I mean, if you want to get him something in the short game, because I'm telling you right now, the deep game is not there. Kadarius Toney's a real weird gadget weapon, and if you're really on like a prove-it year, you might very well want to just say, screw it. We're going to try to take him. We're going to try to make him into what he is at Florida. He was the first guy I ever really scouted. Kadarius Toney, very unique prospect. I like him a lot, though. Washington. Let's look at the guys who were on the board. Talanoa Hufanga's on the board. We could definitely go him. Richard LeCounte's on the board. We could definitely go him. And there are teams that need strong and free safeties that we need to worry about between our pick and the next one. Therefore, we're going to have to go Talanoa Hufanga at this point. You guys might not like the Hufanga pick. I'm telling you right now, Hufanga is great. He is super underrated. You guys have been hearing me clamor about this Hufanga guy for a long time. I've been hearing 2nd-round hype on Hufanga as well. He literally is just a slightly downgraded version of Cisco in my mind. Not to be like kind of like taking the easy route, but Hufanga slightly reminds me of Troy Polamalu. A little bit. Just watching him play, he is explosive. He's really good in the run game. I don't really see too many faults with Hufanga, if we're going to be honest right now, guys. Checking out his age, he's young as well. I mean, I'm telling you right now, he's a good player. People are very underrating this kid. Cowboys. Now we can look at who's on the board. If we want to take a guy right now, we definitely can. Nico Collins is still on the board for a team like the Bears who might want to get an A-Rob replacement. We got to obviously this is gonna all change as soon as free agency starts, right? But looking at the Cowboys right now, where could we go with them? I think that this is a good spot to be going for that defensive line pick. And you guys are semi in win now mode. I know it's kind of weird to say that, but Darius Stills is the most pro ready out of all of these guys. Darius Stills makes an impact every single play. I was just talking with my boy Brady, and he was talking about how looking at Davion Nixon, he was making a play every single play. He's a big disruptor. That's what I saw with Darius Stills, and one of you guys down in my comment section definitely knows how good Darius Stills is, and he's an absolute beast, man. He just makes a play on every single play. He's a great fit in Dallas. You're going to be able to get the most out of Lawrence and all these other guys on that defensive front. Darius Stills is a very talented guy, and you cannot pass up on that. Speaking of can't pass up on it, with a team that has 2 third-round picks, do we go for a defensive tackle here, or do we go for the strong safety in Paris Ford? It is an interesting one because we could go Hamza later on if we want, but I think we got to go Paris Ford here. Box safety who has a lot of hit power, going to be able to replace Harris and be able to just keep rolling with it. Sorry, Jags fans, I would love to give you Harris, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Cardinals, where do we go with you guys? This is where we could look at a running back. You guys hate it when I take Michael Carter, man. I'm telling you, you guys like spit at me every time I take Michael Carter. Looking at the other ways that we could go, there are 2 rookie defensive linemen, so we could be looking at adding a third, because obviously they're not very high ceiling type of dudes. Like Lecky Fotu, not really the best interior defensive lineman in the world, but we could be looking for a guard replacement as well if we want to go for Ben Cleveland. I think he's the center for Georgia. He aligns at guard, so we could be looking at that. This might be a good spot to trade back though, because we've been trading up a little bit with the Cardinals. This is a good spot to trade back. There's still some really good edge players on the board. There's still a large target there in Nico Collins that has a very high ceiling. There's still Joe Tryon on the board as well. There's a lot of dudes on the board, and to be honest, there's still another box safety on the board. So we're going to be looking at teams that are going to be probably wanting to go for, I mean, we could even look at Pete Werner at this spot, but I don't think he's going to fit that scheme too well. Looking at teams that probably could use an edge, I mean, the Rams could want to move up and continue to beef up their defensive front if we want to look at that. But I think the Bears are actually, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep Allen Robinson. I'm going to be honest. I think that Allen Robinson can fetch some money elsewhere. So this is under the presumption that Allen Robinson is moving on from the Bears, which would kill me as a Bears fan. But we are trading up with the Bears to select Nico Collins. We're going to try to get that 7th back from the Cards. But, I mean, the Cardinals move back a couple spots. The Bears come up and select a 6'4", very, very, very unique, good hands as well type of target in Nico Collins, who I kind of comp to, Allen Robinson. I was about to say AR-12, but I was like, all right, so next pick, we got the Raiders. This is where we could be looking at some interior offensive line. We could be looking at another safety as well, a free safety. So if we want to look at a free safety right now, Richard LeCount could be a good replacement for, Colby Harvey-Peel as well. Honestly, we might just be waiting on Colby Harvey-Peel for the Raiders, but I mean, looking at it, can we trade back from this spot as well? I don't know. Do we pull the trigger on a Caden Stearns, who is a single high safety? Because I know obviously the box safety is Foster. Is BJ Foster in here? He is. I like BJ Foster. He'd be a fun linebacker. Richard LeCount would be a good target, but looking at teams that could probably use another safety, we could look at, of course, if you want more of a strong safety type, that's more of a single high strong safety, really weird from Malik Hooker. We could be looking at the Colts wanting to move up. I might be moving up with, why am I bugging on the freaking Vikings name? It's one of those days, guys. The Vikings need to get a box safety. Obviously, the Raiders don't need to do that, so we are going to be trading back with our 80th pick with the Vikings. The Vikings are going to be moving up because they just realized, I mean, dude, the Bears just moved up and selected an offensive weapon. We gotta respond. So we're gonna be moving up with the Vikings, who have a shit ton of picks. Oh my lord, this is gonna be a fun draft. We're gonna be possibly adding in the 5th right here, just to try to be. We can't even toss in the 7th. We actually need to get the 5th in there, You know what? Just for you guys, we're going to toss in the 4th and add in the 7th. Just because we're going to try to get the right pick value out of this. So we're going to trade up. And you know what? We'll see if this works, okay? I don't want to just send a billion picks off. The Raiders accepted our offer. We are going to be selecting Hamza Nasir Dean. Actually, no, we don't need a... why am I bugging? We just got a box safety. We need a free safety. Richard LeCount is going to be able to be an understudy to Harrison. Harrison's getting old, and now you have your future at safety right here. Richard LeCount and Paris Ford. I like to give him usually to the Falcons, but that's too big of a trade back. Now that you have a box safety to protect against David Montgomery, you now have a free safety to protect against Nico Collins here from Michigan. Looking at the next pick for the Raiders, we could be looking probably towards that Pete Werner pick if you want to add. I don't think the linebacker is that much of an issue, though. Realistically, I don't. This roster is really loaded. At this point, I might just be taking a guy like Ben Cleveland out of Georgia to be able to replace at that left guard spot. Honestly, Raiders fans, you guys gotta like be a little bit more vocal on this one, but I don't know. Is this where we see another trade back? Like, I don't get it. There are a lot of edges on the board. Could we use another edge? Maybe. This is a really awkward spot for me to be in. And honestly, we could be taking a safety again here. There's just so much value here. It's just like, this is a perfect spot to trade back. But looking at it, let's just take Ben Cleveland out of Georgia. He fits the guard profile. He's going to be a high floor guy. Redshirt senior, has played quite a bit. He's going to be able to keep this team in playoff contention, especially if injuries start riddling the roster. Now, Washington, we already got you the wide receiver. We got you the safety. Got you the quarterback. I think Holcomb needs a buddy. He's a really talented linebacker, and you guys stole him in that later round. So you're either going to need him, or else you're going to need a guy like Israel Mukuwamu, who is a very high ceiling prospect, but kind of a lower floor due to his hips. I'm telling you right now, like, look at him. 6'3", 205. I saw him. He only got targeted like 3 times a game. Yeah, he allowed a good percentage of those balls to be caught. But there's a reason why quarterbacks do not target him, even when J.C. Horn is on the other side of the field. That's because Israel Mukuwamu is a really good player. You guys have, I think, 2 more corners on your roster after this year's free agency. I mean, I'm not even looking at it based off of what TDN's saying. I'm just looking at it from my own research. I think this is a good spot to take a high ceiling player. You guys already have all the pieces you need. Now you get some pieces that you want. Israel Mukuwamu can develop into a very high ceiling type of prospect, and I'm telling you right now, it could be a steal of the draft if he turns out to be as good as we think he could be. Cards. We're back with you guys again. Now this is where I think that we could be going for a running back pick. If we want to reach for a Trey Sermon, we could go for that. Zeus, that would be a not too horrible of a pick either. Zeus showed some flashes, but again, we could... I don't really see too much of a good spot for you guys to go here. We could be going for a higher ceiling type of defensive lineman here. Again, I just don't feel it. You know, there is a team that could be wanting to trade up right now. And again, there's a lot of edges on the board, and we could be seeing some more teams wanting to move up, similar to the Jets wanting to get another edge player. The Rams as well. Rams are obviously not going to move up because, again, in the same division, guys. I'm just saying, the Steelers could be wanting to move up in order to select Jalen Tweeman. That's exactly what's going to happen. Steelers trading up with the Cards. The Cardinals, there's just not enough value here. And you guys don't have the picks. You don't have the pick compensation. So we're going to see if we can trade maybe a 5th from Green Bay. We're going to trade the 5th from Green Bay. We're not going to try to scam you guys out of a bunch of picks here. We're going to be picking up Jalen Tweeman out of Pittsburgh. Pitt to Pitt, boys. I like it. It's going to be a solid fit. And plus, Pitt's kind of in win now mode. We got to be able to make sure that defense is good, solid picks right there. I love it overall. This is a spot where Pete Werner's... it's either going to be this edge class, but dude, this is so annoying. Dude, oh my goodness. Dude, can you imagine if Joe... I don't know why I'm saying dude so much. Take a shot every time I say dude, by the way. Can you imagine if Joe Tryon learns from Aaron Donald how to pass rush? We're doing it. We're so doing it. Oh my goodness. This is the perfect spot for him. If you get to learn in this environment, that's unbelievable. Joe Tryon to the Rams, add that extra pass rush in there. I don't think Leonard Floyd will be there next year. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it doesn't even matter, man. That's such a good pick. Ooh, Colts. Steal time. Tyler Shelvin is still here. You need to beef up that interior. Put him next to DeForest Buckner. Yes, please. Yes, please. That's absolutely delicious. That sounds really creepy. That's absolutely awesome. It's great overall. I think it's going to be the best solution possible for the Colts. This is where I always go Kerry Vincent Jr. They how the Browns love their LSU DBs. They're going to continue that trend right here with Kerry Vincent Jr. Fill in that slot, have Greedy Williams, Denzel Ward, along with that secondary, the rest of the safeties there. You got Ronnie Harrison. You also have Grant Delpit. Now, we got the... Why am I bugging? I'm so bugging today. It's super annoying. We have the Titans. We already know where we're probably thinking about going here. Elijah Moore could replace that slot role. We could obviously go Tylan Wallace here as well to be a good boundary guy. But I think Elijah Moore deserves to be this pick. I have him as a late second right now. We'll see how that eventually turns out. I've done my deep scouting report on him, and he was not as impressive as I thought. But he's definitely a really talented player. Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. You got the Ole Miss connection, A.J. Brown, Elijah Moore. And now Adam, always injured Humphreys, is no longer an issue on the squad. And to be honest, I always never have a pick for the Buccaneers until now. Tylan Wallace is on the board. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, we got Antonio Brown. Godwin probably won't be back because we do need the money to re-sign some people, as well as the fact that we already have enough weapons. And then we have a slot in... technically Antonio Brown could be a slot, but if we're talking about Scotty Miller, Mike Evans, we have a loaded squad. But your team is all about that firepower. You're in win now mode. If you get rid of Godwin, and let's just say you bring back why am I thinking Harris? I'm bugging. And then also, if you bring back Ndamukong Suh, right? And you bring in obviously J. Tuafele, and then you also bring in who we got? We got Jalen Phillips. I'm pretty sure we got Jalen Phillips for the squad. Did we not? I thought we did. We might not have, but we did get Jalen Phillips. So Jalen Phillips as well as J2FLA. Then we could start focusing on the offense, right? Tylan Wallace would be a great boundary weapon. He has unlimited potential, and this team is just in a straight shootout type of offense. I think it's going to be a great job. It's a great idea because you actually add some youth to the squad, because apart from Scotty Miller and technically Godwin, it's not that young. It's not that young of a core. So we're going to be going Tylan Wallace here, kind of stealing him from the other squad, because again, there's teams in your division that, the Saints are getting a little bit worse. You're going to want to continue to put in the wide receiver help to be able to just guns it away to get another Super Bowl with Tom. So I think it's going to be a great option there. Now, Raiders, we got to go safety for you guys. We got to look at the guys. I know you guys don't like Richie Grant here. To be honest, it's either Caden Stearns or Colby Harvey-Peel. And I think Colby Harvey-Peel technically could be a box safety if you guys want to talk about him like that. I'm telling you right now, he is so good as a catch. He's so good at the jump ball. He's just so good. I'm telling you right now. He feels like he could, look how young he is too. Adding him along with Abram is just going to be like a match made in heaven. Colby Harvey-Peel is going to be a reach at this spot. I think he's a great player. He was up here in the 80s, 3 weeks ago for TDN. So TDN's having their PMS BS. So we're going to let them do whatever the hell they want. Jets, where do we go with you? This is an interesting spot because we can look at corner and there's not really much here apart from a slot, and Brian Poole is your slot. We don't need to go for a slot wide receiver and slot corner right now. But looking at the linebackers, Pete Werner could be a really fun addition to CJ Mosley. Jack Sanborn did declare that he was going to go back. I don't know why he's still in this mix here. That's a really lazy job by TDN. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with TDN being a bunch of idiots. However, I think this is the right spot for Pete Werner. You got to get that linebacker help in there, man. Pete Werner is a very, very talented linebacker. Can read plays very well. And he's a good he's a good boy. He's a good player. I just said boy and player at the same time. Bleh. So I think overall he's a really talented player. Now we got to go for the Cardinals here. This is where we got to go running back. And if we're gonna go for a running back, we either go Kenny Gainwell or Trey Sermon. And if you want to keep Edmonds, because Edmonds is on contract here, we are probably going to be wanting to go for a true power back. Again, Mohamed Ibrahim declared that he's going to go back. Trey Sermon has just been going off and off and off recently. His draft stock is at an all-time high, and it shows. He has good vision. He has good power, and he actually has a pretty good balance. He's really good at contact balance. So we're going to go Trey Sermon to this squad. He's going to jump Michael Carter, who I'm a huge fan of, as well as Kenny Gainwell and Chuba, because this dude's been putting up 300-yard games. There's a reason for it. Ohio State's run blocking is really damn good. But at the same time, he's a really talented back. I liked him over there in Oklahoma. And now he's bringing it to Ohio State and just showing it off. This is a spot where the Browns got to go interior defensive lineman, though. Looking at the guys on the board, you cannot pass up on a guy like Haskell Garrett. We're gonna say Garrett just for you guys. 22% pressure rate. That's insane for an interior defensive lineman. Like pass rush pressure rate, like that's insane. I think that I used to have him in the second round. I probably should have still had him in the second round. He's just unbelievable. This defensive lineman class is pretty solid. It's not very top heavy. It's very like in the middle. You have a very deep class. They're just not very good as in terms of first round talent. Maybe Davion Nixon could be though. Bills. There's a plethora of edge still left on the board. Quincy Roche, Victor. I think Victor's got to be the pick here. He's the guy with the highest ceiling. If you want to look at his age, I mean, he is pretty young. He's really young for a senior. So we got to go for Victor here. Overall, really talented player from Duke. I've been hearing first round hype on this dude. Wouldn't be surprised if he randomly sneaks into the first because he plays really well. I've been looking at my buddy's scout reports over on Twitter, link in the description. But I mean, I'm telling you right now, this guy he might be very underrated. I'm gonna be honest. He could be very underrated. Now, what we want to look at is, of course, the interior of the offensive line for the Packers is really solid, right? But I think we got to go on this interior defensive lineman. We got to get some help for Kenny Clark. Aleem McNeil, highest TDN grade in terms of like rate and TDN, PFF grade in terms of like being an interior defensive lineman. It might have been one of the highest in the country besides Zaven Collins. Aleem McNeil is insane. He plays at a very high level and he's very consistent. You got to help out Kenny Clark there on the interior. Again, we'll get corners. The cornerback class isn't that great. I mean, as many corners as we've been taking, it's just like there's a big drop off after Mukuamu, and it makes me a little uncomfortable. Now, of course, Chiefs, we got to be going either for a linebacker for you guys, or we got to go for a bigger wide receiver to replace Sammy Watkins. I don't know why there's so much disrespect on my guy Seth Williams. I mean, he doesn't generate the most crazy separation in the game. He has insane hands. He's young, youthful, athletic. There's some disrespect going on right here. I don't like it. Seth Williams is going to be a great addition to this offense. To your $500 million man, I don't know why I said $500,000, $500 million man. For Patrick Mahomes, you got to make sure that he's protected and has all the weapons in the world. You don't need another little gadget player. You already have enough of those. Got to go Seth Williams here. And speaking of got to get gadget weapons, I mean, looking at it, the Patriots, we just got your true, like, do-it-all weapon in Kyle Pitts. You got your quarterback, right? We could be looking at maybe more of a guy like Sage Surratt. Anthony Schwartz is a gadget weapon. We could 100% do that. I mean, it's kind of sad that we can't get any of the cool dudes from Alabama for Mac Jones, but that's okay. I mean, it's perfectly fine. But looking at the guys who are still on the board, there's still good edge players on the board, man. I'm telling you right now, there's some good edge on the board. You got some good tight ends on the board. Still a really good box safety as well for teams that might need a box safety, like the Jaguars. I think that looking at it right now, I think Anthony Schwartz should probably be there. In worst case scenario, you get Shi Smith. We got to trade back a little bit here, guys. The Jaguars, who incidentally almost beat the Patriots a couple years ago in the playoffs, are going to be moving up in order to select a box safety because they just got their true free safety. Now we can move up to select a real box safety. So it's we're coming towards the end of the draft right here, apparently. I totally forgot about that. So we're going to be technically trading out of the fourth, but you guys are going to want to come back for that anyways. To select Hamza Nasir Dean. He's going to be more that box linebacker hybrid, and you know what? It could be similar to like a Telvin Smith. I think that's his name. I don't know if I'm bugging right there either, but you know, Hamza could definitely be that hybrid linebacker that you're looking for. That'd be a very interesting, fun gadget weapon. He used to have first round hype when we first did this, when TDN dropped its first rankings. Hamza was like number 15 on the board. You look at him, he's like what, 6'3", 6'4", 220. He's a beast. He's a beast. He plays at a really high level there. Florida State knows what they're doing with their DBs. At this spot for the Chargers, we got to be going for a pass rusher here. There's one that's still on the board that's disgustingly being underrated right now. That's Quincy Roche. I like Quincy Roche too. That's a funny thing. It's just like there's some teams that just need some other things. And I don't plan out these drafts, and some guys just fall like this. I'm like, how the hell is this possible? I mean, Quincy Roche is going to be a great addition to Uchenna Nwosu. Again, if they re-sign Melvin Ingram, this is obviously not a need. But Quincy Roche is going to be a great option. Very high floor type of dude as well. We've been getting aligned pieces to be able to make this team more playoff ready. I think they will be playoff ready very soon. Quincy Roche, definitely the dude to be looking at. Now, of course, Saints, did we already? I thought we already picked for you. We did not. But we could be looking at Hamilcar Rashed here if we want to be going off the walls. Again, I'm not 100% sure on like how I feel about Hamilcar Rashed. Might be the guy next off the board. But again, I haven't heard that he's been doing too much. Slot corner-wise, you guys got to help me out on that one for the Saints. But Elijah Molden could also play safety if you guys want him to. I don't think you guys need that. Elijah Molden is just, it's disgusting how, like, this guy, if you guys want to see where I have him right now, I have no idea if this is actually like fully updated. I have no idea why the hell that's not updating. That's really annoying. But as of right now, which again, this is not. This should be the ranking right here. But for now, Elijah Molden is my 40th guy on the board, pretty much. It's weird that it's not popping up my other stuff, but Elijah Molden's gonna be the guy right now. Maybe just because this is an older draft and I haven't really updated my my rankings yet. And I have updated them, but didn't update them in time for this. Elijah Molden's got to be the pick there. I mean, I have him as... This is literally disgusting. It's a disgusting steal. Next, we got the Cowboys. Cowboys, we got to get some edge help for you guys. We definitely got to get some edge help in there. This is where we got to go Hamilcar Rashed. All right, like, I've been hearing some good... Like, obviously, TDN has a boner over this dude. You guys can look at whatever the hell you guys want to. I'm not that high on him. I need to look at him more. So, out of respect for him, he's going to be a top 100 pick. Leaving the Rams to end off this draft is, of course... Wait, where the hell did Pete Werner go? Okay, he went over here. Looking at it, we got to either get some interior offensive line help, or else we got to get a linebacker here, or we could trade out. And we might be doing that because I always love to trade out the spot. We could be looking at a team like the Jets wanting to move up for a guy like Hunter Long. Is there a team that could be using a scat back, though? That's 100% something that I am going to be looking out for. I mean, the Steelers could definitely use a guy like this. I'm a huge fan of Michael Carter. So if you guys are like, oh, don't stop hating on Michael Carter, I love Michael Carter. There's nobody I love more than Michael Carter. You know what would be interesting? If the Giants wanted to move up. I mean, with Saquon's injuries, you guys might want to get a guy like Michael Carter. But for right now, I don't think we can see that. I think the Jets are going to want to move up for Hunter Long, though. So far, it's been kind of abysmal, the type of play that we have seen from Chris Herndon. So, I mean, it's really unfortunate. Chris Herndon the fourth, apparently. Apparently that's his name. That's pretty interesting, right? But Chris Herndon, unfortunately, has not panned out to be the guy that we wanted him to be. Hunter Long will be, though. Hunter Long is a really, really talented player. It's not going to end off the third round, but definitely somebody you want to jump before the Titans can really inch up to be able to select him. Unfortunate, but it is the way it is. Now, looking at the guys on the board, you still got some interior defensive linemen on the board. You still got Charlie Kohler on the board, who's really good. Slot wide receiver and Daz Newsome. Looking at teams that could use a slot, I mean, the Bengals definitely don't need a slot, but we could be looking at the Vikings to move up here. The Vikings have been trading back a lot. The Vikings might be moving up here in order to select a guy in Daz Newsome. I think that's going to be solid. You guys don't really have a true slot there anymore. Justin Jefferson, you don't want to waste Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen's talent. And we've been getting you guys a lot of linemen, right? So we got to make sure that that is going to be fully addressed. You have so many damn picks. Holy shit. We're going to be trying to trade we're going to try to get a sixth back. We're going to trade up 2 4s and then a sixth 2 4s for a third and a sixth to select with the final pick in this draft, Daz Newsome, in this round of the draft. Daz Newsome to add to that energetic, explosive offense. So let me know what you guys think. Come back tomorrow for round 4. I'll see you on the far side. Peace.